Hello, I'm Allison, and welcome to my weekly Meltdowns breakdown of The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 2, titled JSS. For the record, I just want to say that an episode without Daryl and Rick is like waking up on Christmas without Christmas presents. However, an entire episode with Carol Peltier kicking ass is like spending Christmas Eve with your grandparents and getting way better presents than you could ever imagine getting on Christmas Day. I want to give a couple of shout outs before I start. I'd like to give a shout out to the Walking Dead Virus, a group on Facebook. I joined this group last week. It's a private group. You have to request to join the Walking Dead Virus, and they're a great group. They post a lot of really cool stuff, and they have been so kind as to let me implant my little weekly blog on their Facebook page. So again, go to Facebook and join the group Walking Dead Virus. I was a little concerned about this episode at first. I thought we were getting into a filler episode when they're just filling in on stuff that we've missed. But good Lord, I was wrong on that one. So let's get this out of the way because it's insignificant and I really don't care. The Walking Dead wasted 10 minutes on Enid. Completely wasted 10 minutes on her. Okay? She lost her parents. She had to survive eating turtles. And she wrote JSS on everything, which meant just survive somehow. That's great. Let's dedicate 10 minutes to that shit. I did not care whatsoever. I don't like this character. I've heard that she's a spy of some kind for the wolves. And I didn't really believe it at first, but I definitely do now. And at first I thought maybe JSS stood for like maybe her real name, her real initials. But then I started thinking to myself, who in their right mind would choose to go by the name Enid? But that's just me. So while Rick and them are out trying to redirect the big zombie herd, the truck horns the rig horn is going off, all that stuff's going on. The shit hits the fan in Alexandria. Now, it doesn't start with the horn. It starts with these wolves. They all have W's on their heads, so I assume they're wolves, are jumping the fences. They get in there like freaking ninjas. And they got fire bombs, knives, machetes, chains, and they are hacking people up. And I think these are the same people that got into Terminus and tortured and killed and ate and raped people. I'm not really sure, but I get the feeling that these are the exact same people. Now, when all of this is going down, Maggie and Deanna are having a heart-to-heart about growing crops and all that junk. And all of a sudden, they see a guy catch on fire at the top of the, whatevers. And, Deanna's like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. Maggie's like, we got to go in and see what's going on. Well, meanwhile, Deanna's son, I can't remember his name, but I'm just going to call him Chicken Shit because he chickened out and he couldn't hit anybody. He's like the worst sniper in the world. I mean, the worst. I don't know who designated him to sit in for Sasha, but they deserve to be exiled from Alexandria altogether. He couldn't hit one wolf. And then on top of that, he shoots at the rig, which might have been a blessing in disguise, but he did shoot the rig. And that is when they wrecked into the Alexandria wall, and it made the horn go off. So now we know where the horn sound came from. It wasn't any of these conspiracy theories that everyone said. It was a blatant accident because Chicken Shit definitely did not do that on purpose. So anyway, Chicken Shit gets out and he's trying, he gets in there and he sees that the guy driving the rig is now a zombie and Morgan just pops up out of freaking nowhere. I don't know how he got there that fast. I can't remember if he left before everyone else or what, but he shows up with his mighty stick and he kills the trucker who is now a walker. And he can tell that Chicken Shit is scared to death. And he's like, just stay here. And he's like, okay, I think I'm going to stay here. And Deanna shows up with Maggie and he goes, I think I'm going to stay here with my mommy. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to guard my mommy. How convenient. So Morgan shows up and just starts kicking ass, but he is still struggling with his moral dilemma of not killing people. And if we've learned anything in the past 5 years of The Walking Dead, dude, if you don't kill someone, they will come back to haunt you. This is the biggest thing with me. If you don't kill someone, they come back. Ask Tyrese, dude from season 5, episode 1. The guy chomping his gum who tried to kill little Judith. I mean, for real. He came back. They kidnapped Bob, ate his leg, and all hell broke loose. I mean, these people do come back. And especially if you lie about it, then you really look dumb. But anyway, so he's still struggling with his inner, morals, and he doesn't want to kill anybody. I mean, I can somewhat give him a pass at this point because he was alone for a very long time, but we don't know what happened from the episode Clear until he showed back up. We have no idea. He mumbled about where he learned to be this samurai stick guy from, but I didn't really understand. I rewound it 5 times. I couldn't understand what he said. What I can't allow to pass is the fact that he gives Gabriel a gun, and Gabriel is useless anyway, but he's got 2 guns now, and he's like, yeah, you defend yourself. This is just a clusterfuck waiting to happen. And on top of that, he runs into a group of wolves and just lectures them to death until they want to fucking get out of there. And one of them grabs a gun and leaves. And he just trollops after him, doesn't he? He just half-ass chases them out the door. Then he gets into a fight with one of the guys that he didn't kill in the season finale. I call him Shaggy Wolf. He didn't kill Shaggy, and Shaggy even says, you should have killed me. And they get into this battle in one of the Alexandria houses, and Morgan, he's fighting him pretty good, and we are led to believe, Tyrus killed Bubba. We were led to believe that he killed Shaggy. I want a corpse. In front of me, I want a corpse. I'm not buying it till I see a corpse. Can we just go ahead and address how freaking kick-ass Carol is? 1 minute, she's in the pantry with the other housewives going over substitutions for baking and making things super awesome. She's lecturing this lady about smoking and doing all of this stuff. And then while she's making lasagna, she looks out, sets the timer. She's babysitting Judith. She looks out the window and she sees Smoker Lady get knocked down with the machete, and she goes right into Rambo, Batman, ninja mode. I mean, full throttle. I love Carol so much. I want to be Carol when I grow up. I think my Halloween costume is going to be Carol dressed up as a wolf. I think that would be super awesome. Carol took care of business and never freaking hesitated. Never. Not once. She dressed up, disguised herself. She talked Morgan into coming with her. She wrapped chains around him and did this all Return of the Jedi style. And she's just leading Morgan around. Well, of course, Morgan cuts free to go help that useless piece of shit, Gabriel. Well, she keeps going. She goes to the armory. She finds that chick who does inventory with the glasses hiding in a closet. And she's like, look, do you know how to shoot a gun? And the woman's like, no, I don't. And she's like, okay, well, here you go. Click, click. Somebody comes in, you shoot, and you do not stop. And that woman's like, okay. Like, didn't even question it. Didn't even question that Carol knew all of this shit. But of course, if I were in the same situation, I would never question Carol Peltier. And Carl is kicking ass and taking names. 1 minute, he's out strolling around with little Shane Jr. and, telling Father Gabriel, yeah, I forgive you, whatever, and I'll help you shoot. He's nursing a little broken heart because he sees, Enid hugging Ron. And then the next thing you know, bam, Alexandrians are attacking, and he's flying down the stairs with his machine gun, and he is freaking ready to go. He doesn't hesitate. That's what I love. It seems like the people that were left behind don't hesitate. And Enid breaks into the house, and she tries to pull this shit of, I know there's stuff going on out there, but I only care about myself and think about myself. So I just wanted to say goodbye. And Carl's like, shut the fuck down. You're not going anywhere. We're going to sit on this floor back to back, you with your little Boy Scout knife and me with my machine gun. And we're going to take care of any assholes that come in here. But yeah, don't ever tell me goodbye. In the meantime, Ron is running around like the little bitch he is. And Carl saves his ass. Saves his ass. And what does Ron do? He gets an attitude because Enid's in the house and runs off. Are you serious? Really? This is not the time or the place to pull that shit. You get your ass in the house and you let Carl defend you. Because Carl's in kick-ass mode. I mean, I know Carl's only in kick-ass mode, you know, when he's wearing his kicking-ass sheriff's hat. He doesn't need it anymore. He's just Carl, and he can take care of it. He can protect anyone and anybody. Meanwhile, Ron's mom, Jessie, really stepped up to the plate. This crazy woman breaks into her house, tries to attack her, and she fucking stabs this bitch in the chest. And she's screaming. She's going all native on this woman. And Ron comes in like, oh shit, Mom, what are you doing? This is what not being a pussy and taking care of shit looks like, Ron. So after everything calms down, Enid decides to leave behind Carl's back and leaves him a note that says JSS, which, well, I mean, she actually writes out what JSS means. Just survive somehow. Whoop. Next. I'm not even going to go any further on that. Just a couple of side notes really quick. We met Denise, who I believe she was a psychologist major or something, and she's the new Pete, or she calls herself the new Pete. And I hope to God she's not the new Pete, because we really don't need someone going around beating the shit out of their patients. Anyway, so one of the Alexandrian women is trying to help fight. Well, she gets hurt really bad, and Eugene and Tara bring her in, and they're trying to guilt Denise into performing a surgical procedure on her that she has no idea how to do. And they're like, just help her, just do it. And Denise is like, I don't know how to fucking do this. I'm not a surgeon. The book I can't read this book fast enough to stop the bleeding and body parts hanging out. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing. So finally, she gets in there and she tries to save her. And I think she does more damage the gun she killed her. And Eugene and Tara are like, okay, that's cool. You tried. I mean, you really tried. And that's what counts, right? This is not just something you try to do. It's not like you tried to change your first spare tire and then you started to drive and the donut flew off in oncoming traffic. I mean, this isn't the same thing. This is a living human being. Another side note, Aaron, after the dust settles, he's going around stabbing all the dead wolves in the head and the Alexandrians in the head with his knife, and he finds his missing backpack that he left behind in the season finale last year, and he finds pictures of Alexandria in it, and you can just tell by the look on his face that he feels really bad. He feels a little responsible, that maybe this is why they found him. I mean, actually, it's not Aaron's fault, it's Morgan's fault, because Morgan didn't kill those two assholes. He didn't kill Shaggy and the other guy. So that's how they found the bag. It's called chain of events. Every decision that you make has a everything. So if you want to blame someone, blame Morgan. I'm just saying. And I'm a big Morgan fan. I love Morgan. I've been all about Morgan. But he needs to straighten the fuck up pronto. So what did we learn this episode? Enid survived on turtles, and JSS stands for something stupid. Morgan needs to straighten the fuck up and really get on board with just killing people. Carl is still a badass even when he doesn't have his ass-kicking hat on. And Carol is the biggest badass on the planet. She was incognito. She was moving around like a Rambo, Batman-esque ninja. That's all there is to it. This is a great episode. Started out slow, then shoved his face first in it, and we were down. We were down in it, and I loved it. Absolutely loved the hell out of this episode. I can't wait I think next week will be a great third episode to start season 6 out. We find out what Rick and them are up to. But until then, why don't you get on YouTube and subscribe to My Weekly Meltdown, and then go over to Facebook and like My Weekly Meltdown, and then follow me on Instagram at the.memphis.darling. Yeah, on Instagram, the Memphis Darling, the.memphis.darling. And follow me on Twitter at @Summers, SOMMERS 1977. And like I said, go join the group, The Walking Dead Virus. And also there's another good group out there called The Walking Dead Talk. They're really cool as well. And until then, I hope everyone's happy and doing what they were intended to be doing on this earth. And if you're not, what the hell are you waiting for? And remember, no matter what, no matter how much ass kicking is going on, Carol's lasagna made it out unscathed. Good night.